Yes, we are live now. Please start.
Okay. Namaste and good morning to everybody. Welcome to the Hindu Book Club. I'm Sat Parashar. Welcome you from. Okay, we start now. Namaste and good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hindu Book Club. I'm Sat Parashar, welcoming you from Arizona. We are very privileged to have today with us Professor Nawal Prinja. Oh, his profile is great. When I was reading it, I think he must have been 300 years old. But, he is truly an author, a Hindu philosopher, and a scientist. And you are going to enjoy his presentation today. And you have his profile with you already briefly circulated by Pooja. And I would say that without much ado, may I now request Professor Prinja to kindly make his presentation. He'll be using the slides and he will speak about 40-45 minutes, and then you'll have the time for question answer. Welcome, Professor Nawal Prinja.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste, everyone. And thank you, Professor Sat Prashaji in USA. And also big thanks to Pooja Kumari ji based in Pakistan. We are really very honored and I feel so happy that young people like you in diverse parts of this world are paying attention to the Indian knowledge system. So well done, Pooja ji. Please carry on. I hope there will be more sessions of this kind. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about one of the best books that I'd ever read. And to an extent that I started to write about it, translated it, and today I'm going to literally go through the entire book for one very simple reason. There is a word that we all use at the start of our prayers, and that is the word Om. Yeah, this book gives us the best explanation of that word in just 12 months. So this is a short book. I will just carry on and tell you that many other books I have written recently with help from others, particularly guidelines for Hindu chaplains and explanation of Hindu Dharma, which is more based on teaching Dharma rather than preaching Dharma. Because my aim is not to preach religion, but to focus as a scientist, to focus on scientific aspect of our philosophy. And before I go on, this book, Māṇḍūkya Upanishad, is one of several series of books called Upanishad. So I just want to give you a place in history of this rich literature that has come out of India. This history is based, it's not me, it's Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. Most of you will remember he was professor of philosophy here in UK at Oxford University. Then he moved to India. I think for 10 years he was vice president, and then for 5 years he was president of India. And he basically gives this overview that the oldest were the Vedas, then the Brahman Granth came, and then the Upanishads. Then followed what we call the epic periods of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Buddhism and Jainism came, and then came the Sutra period. This is when the 6 Darshan Shastras were written. And then other scholars came on, Shankara, Ramanujan, Madhav, and Bhaskara, and so on. But why were Upanishads written? They were written to preserve oral wisdom in a very systematic form. Okay, they preserve the very essence of the Vedas, guiding the seeker from the outside world to the inner world. This is one of the people I was discussing with said people normally wear glasses, bahar ka chashma, but the Upanishads are andar ka chashma. They are the glasses which make you see inside you. And then later on, they were the sutras written even in more precise way. But today we are going to focus on Upanishads. And the word itself, Upanishad, very similar to English, down, knee, near, shad, sat. So these were many great question and answers students asked their teachers. Actually, many Upanishads have been written. So far, 108 have been recognized, out of which there are 11 main Upanishads. And today, I will talk about Mandukya. Literally, Mandukya in Sanskrit means frog, and frog jumps. So your knowledge will leap forward like a frog. And that is why they often say, think before you talk. It's a very short one, just 12 mantras. But, according to Upanishads, when the mind is trained to look inwards on itself, observes the various aspects, the mind becomes the experimental unit, and the individual practicing thus attains happiness in this world. It's basically laying the very foundation of what nowadays modern people called mindfulness. So if ever you want to know where are the foundations of mindfulness, here they are, okay? And I just want to also very quickly give you a one-liner description of these 11 main Upanishads. This is just to create hunger in you, such that after this talk, you want to know more about it. So Isha Upanishad, one of Gandhi's Ji's favorite, it talks about who rules you, okay, and how to live balancing materialism and spiritualism. Wonderful book. Often people think Hinduism is against materialism. No. And it is all about spiritualism. No, it is actually the balance between the two. Kena Upanishad, who moves the world? What is that power inside us which is making us hear and see and think? Katha Upanishad, famous dialogue between Nachiketa and Lord Yama, Lord of Death, and it deals with mystery of death, immortality, and above all, the path to the self. Prajna Upanishad, as the name suggests, there are 6 fundamental questions covering origin of beings and the role of prana. Prana being the Atma, which controls the body. And Manduka Upanishad is about higher knowledge and lower knowledge, knowledge that can become out of date and a knowledge that remains forever. Māṇḍūkya Upanishad is actually the topic today, and we will talk about it later. Taittiriya Upanishad is from food to joy. It actually talks about how the body is built and the 5 sheaths of it. Aitareya Upanishad is about creation of the universe and man, macrocosm and microcosm. And Shveta Upanishad, another brilliant one, introduces concept of Maya, which you all know about, and the Sansar Chakra, the world of wheel, World Wide Web, you can call it. Chandogya Upanishad is, as the name suggests, chanda, song, and a sacrifice leading to knowledge. And the famous quotation in it, Tat Tvam Asi. And Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is a great forest teaching. It explores the self. It talks about relationships, and a famous teaching of Neti Neti and the Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, and so on. So I'm just giving you one line sort of introduction to them, but mindfulness, the one that I mentioned to you, is what is the fundamental in this particular book of Mandukya Upanishad. So where did these idea of mindfulness come from? And once again, through this exchange between the master and the disciple. Okay, and there are many Upanishads are also called rahasyas because they reveal many secrets. So today, I will reveal one more secret to you almost in my last slide. So please stay with me, and you will know another secret, something that you use every day, but you may not know about it. Okay, the importance of Mandukya. You know, apologies if there are any psychologists listening in, but my view is modern psychologists actually haven't understood mind. They talk about behaviors. They are experts at human behavior, but strictly speaking, I have questioned many, and I don't think that they actually have a good description. But this particular Upanishad, starts to talk about it. In fact, because mind is something that makes you work, man pradhana. So mind is the most important thing that you have in you, and understanding it is Mandukya Upanishad's greatest achievement and the approach. Okay, if anyone you want the text, I'm going to share with you, and the English translation later on. I'll give you an email and you get in touch and we can send it to you. Not a problem. So let's start. I'm going to share the Sanskrit text. And you will see below it is written in English as well, and the meaning of it. So it starts by saying, Om iti etad aksharam. Om is a word, aksharam. Akshara, look at the style now. This is what amazed me when I just read that. It actually has two meanings. Most of you will understand akshar means word, okay? But in Sanskrit, kshar means the one which perishes, the one which diminishes, the one which can get destroyed. But you add a in front, the meaning becomes opposite. Akshar means imperishable, continuous, constant, immortal, staying forever. So cleverly, the rishis have basically said Om, is a word, but at the same time, it's saying it is imperishable. So you will now recall why some Swami Narayan mandirs, those places are called Akshar Dham. That Akshar doesn't mean word, it means imperishable. Okay? And it says all this world, visible world, past, bhutam, bhavat, bhavishyat. Bhut, past, bhavat, present, bhavishya, future. So all that, past, present, future, omkar eva. And it's so cleverly, you see, it's also shows their amazing understanding of time. It says, yat, anya, trikalatītam. From past, present, and future and beyond, because we do not know when the time started. We do not know when our time is going to end. So it says even beyond the past, present, and future, tadapi, even then it is Omkar eva. So it is Omkar. And here it comes very, very important, because as a scientist, I was impressed. Their understanding of time, and their understanding of past, present, and future. And they are also saying Om is all this visible world. And I would just want to share with you, I guess you already know, the world that we can see is mostly our own Akash Ganga, our own Milky Way, or the galaxy in which our own solar system is. That tiny little dot that you see is our solar system, okay? This is the galaxy. These are the stars that we see at night. But there are billions of other galaxies. Our Milky Way itself, if you shine a torch from one end, it will take 100,000 years to just, to go across to the other. And they are bigger galaxies than ours, about 170 billion. So it's just mind-boggling of what we actually know of the visible world and beyond. So the Upanishad says, the Rishis says, all that is Om. And then it goes on. I'm breaking up the mantra so that it is easy for you to understand. He says, Sarvam hi etad Brahma, all this is Brahma, and then goes on to say, Ayam Atma Brahma, the Atma, the self in you is also Brahma. Having said that, then it makes this rather puzzling statement. Sa Ayam Atma, that this Atma, Chatush, Chatu means four, okay? Pata, quadrant, parts. So this is, all this is Brahma, the Atma in you is Brahma, but this has four parts. And here comes a very simple logical. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. Okay, that's what they are doing. They are saying all this is Om, yeah, all this is Brahma, Atma is Brahma. Therefore, Om is Brahma and Om is Atma. Same name for both things. Okay. Inside your body is Atma, outside the body in the universe is Brahma, and it's just one name for both. Okay, one clarification, and it has four parts. This is something very, very interesting. It's now starting to explain what those four parts are. Okay. Jagrit sthano. Jagrit in Hindi, those of you know, means jagna, being awake. Yeah, the place when you are awake. Like right now, you are awake, you're sitting here, listening, hearing, seeing, and all that. Bahi pragya, outward looking. Okay. Saptanga, that is 7 parts, 7 limbs. Ekon vinshati, this is a Sanskrit way of saying 19, 1 less than 20. Ek un means less. Vinshati, 20. 1 less than 20, 19 mukha. Mukha is not just the mouth. Mukha is an instrument to consume. Okay. And it says it is sthul book. Book means to eat, consume. Sthul, physical. So it is actually something that is awake, that is consuming, and it has 7 limbs and 19 ways of consumption. Okay, all this is called Vaishvanara. Vishvanara. Vaishvanaraha. That is the name of this first part, which is dealing with the physical. Okay, so the first part is the awake state, outward looking, using the 5 senses. Please believe me, brothers and sisters, whatever you know today, you had either seen it, tasted it, touched it, heard it, yeah, and smelt it. It's only through 5 senses the information has gone in you. And you then made some sense of it, and you have started to say, oh, I understand, I know, but that I-ness has come from these 5 senses, sense organs, and the functioning of these through 5 pranas, and the processing of that information by the mind, which then you start to say, I understand. It is similar to artificial intelligence that we do nowadays. Yeah, you give the data to a software and it gives you the result. You say, no, go back, repeat, repeat, repeat. This is how we learned how to walk and talk. Okay. And our mind gets trained and we say, we've become intelligent. And that I-ness emerges, the ego emerges out of it. So all those parts are nothing but machine. It is similar to an artificial intelligence or machine learning, but here we are doing it through our 5 senses. The 7 limbs are obvious: head, eyes, chest, stomach, reproductive organs, feet, and mouth. Okay, then it moves on. The second part. So we don't stay awake all the time. We go to sleep, and when we go to sleep, we dream. Swapanasthano. Yeah, the place of dreaming. Antah pragya. Yeah, looking inward. Please remember, dreams are the virtual world. They are not real world. Yeah, whatever you dream, you may have seen it in the world outside. Like you may dream of a flying pink elephant. That's because you've seen things fly, you've seen pink color, and you've seen an elephant. And then it combines them into your virtual world. But the same number, the Saptang is there, Ekon Vinshati, the 19 Mukha instrument are all there, but it is inward looking, okay? And it enjoys Pravivikt book. These are subtle objects. Like in your dreams, you will enjoy music. You're in a party, you're eating, delicious cake. You are enjoying it, but they're all virtual. Okay, you're not in, and that is Dvitya Pada, the second quadrant or the second part. Okay, so Antapragya, inward looking, and its limitation. Now, please remember, the physical, the gross body is designed to look only outward. So you can only see the real things, you can hear the real sound, and so on. But the inner, the second part, the subtle body, is temporary, it is fleeting thoughts and dreams, because they are only the images. Okay, they are the images of the virtual world. But as you all know, the test of reality and truth is persistence. Okay, the difference between reality and truth is the one that stays the same. Okay, doesn't matter how you question it, how you view it, it is still there. But not in case of a dream, that once your dream is broken, it disappears. And I can show you few things. Well, I've got many slides, but I will only share one slide with you. Look at this picture. Believe me, it is a static image, but if you stare at it, you will see them going around in circles. They're not moving, okay? And there are many other things. Basically, this is to show you that what you see sometimes may not be, okay? And then in the fifth mantra, it talks about the third part. Yatra supto na kanchan kamam kamyate. Yeah, where one is asleep but doesn't desire anything. So there are no dreams. It is what I think the scientists call deep sleep, a sleep without any dreams. Okay, na kanchan swapnam pashyati, no dreams whatsoever, no desires, no work, nothing. There is no object or subject. Okay, and that, oops, sorry. Tat su shuptam, that is the su supta means deep sleep. Okay, and that deep sleep place, eki bhuta, now it has only one way of consuming, that is prajnanadhan. Okay, this is just one undifferentiated mass of consciousness in you, but it is totally blissful. Believe me, yeah, anandamayo. It is full of ananda. It is full of blissful. Deep sleep is always that. That's why psychologists require you to have part of a deep sleep, because in that state, you consume nothing but total peace. Blissful. Doesn't matter how your body was aching. Doesn't matter what emotional distresses you had. Once you're in deep sleep, all that switches off. Okay? That is the third part. No instruments of knowledge needed. This is just consciousness on its own, free from objects and subjects. No commotion, totally peaceful. Now, the problem is this. We all experience this ananda. We all experience this blissfulness. But the moment our deep sleep breaks and we go back either into dream or wake up, all the prapanch, all the commotion starts all over again. This blissfulness disappears then. So this is what the rishis were telling us, how to be in a state of awakeness and yet be enjoying that blissfulness. Okay, I'm just explaining here the pragya. G, the root word means knowledge. Agya means no knowledge because you have add a in front of it. Pra is like superlative. So when it is in this pragya state, yeah, it is a highest level of non-awareness, beyond subjects, beyond objects. That is the state of deep sleep. So just quick recap before I move on, because we are halfway through. 3 states: waking, called Vaishnavara. It is extrovert. It is outward looking, 7 limbs, 19 mouths. Dream state is just a mirror image of it in a spiritual world, in a virtual world, sorry, not spiritual. And deep sleep, pragya, totally no awareness whatsoever, as if one is dead, but you're not dead. Next minute, you will be going back into either dream state or the awake state. Okay, so big question is, how can we stay in peaceful, blissful state of deep sleep when we are awake? And this is what is a biggest teaching of this Upanishad, and the answer is provided by knowing the 3 states of mind. Okay, let's move on. It says, it's not beginning to give you the answer. Yeah, the answer lies in this indwelling controller, which is already inside you. You may not be aware of it. Okay, in fact, it says Esha Sarveshwara, Esha Sarvagya. It is inside everybody. It is everywhere. Yeah, it is inside all living being. Esho Antar Esh Yoni. All yonis, all living beings have it. It is the beginning and end of all beings. Okay. And here is another, what I will call an iceberg model. You only see the physical. You only see the floating part above the water level. Yeah, that's your physical body. Below it are your emotions, your dreams, your inner thoughts, your impressions. Okay. They are the ones who are telling your body what to do. Okay. But even below that, there are causal, which is called the pure consciousness. But the big question is, what keeps all these 3 afloat? These 3 states that we have talked about, that have the shape and a form, in other words, gunas. Okay, they are also guna. Okay, they all carry some qualities with them. Yeah, but what is keeping these 3 states alive, afloat? That is the 4th that keeps them all afloat. But this 4th one has no shape. It has no form. It is actually nirguna, without any qualities. So like previously, I was giving you, the Upanishad was giving you the qualities of those. This one doesn't. And here it is. The 7th mantra goes and says, na anta pragya, it doesn't see inside. Na bahi pragya, it doesn't see outside. Neither in between. Na ubhyata pragyam, na pragyan ganam, na pragyam, neither it knows nor it doesn't know. And then there is this very, very big word, which is a mixture of different words. Adrishtam, you can't see it. Avyavharam, आप इसके साथ व्यवहार नहीं कर सकते. You can't deal with it. Agrahayam, you can't conceive it, perceive it. Alakshanam, it has no signs. Achintyam, you can't even think about it. Poojaji, you want remote control of my computer?
No, I haven't. I think someone else.
Oh, I'm declining it then.
Just decline it.
I don't know why. Please, whoever is asking it, I will keep on declining it because, yeah. No, I keep on getting this message, and I will not give anybody the approval to control my computer. Because they can interact with my screen, install software, or change settings. So I'm declining.
Yes, exactly. Just decline it.
Okay, I'm sorry, because it keeps coming up, so I will keep on declining it. But problem is, Is it still showing you on, it is still showing it's still showing you my slides? Can you see my slides?
Yes, yes, we can see.
Okay, in that case, I will stay in this mode and let me just go back. It was on 7 and now I am on my 8th mantra. So it says, this is now the crux of this Upanishad. It says this particular one, so I am Atma. So this is identical to the Atma in the field of sound. Yeah, in the field of sound, there is somebody called Pavan Dahake. This is the one which is Pavanji. There is a problem with your. Somebody is trying to hack. Anyway, so and it has these 3 matras, the 3 words: Akar, Ukar, Makar. Basically, A, U, and M. And A, U, and M related to creation, preservation, dissolution. And finally, we have the picture of our own body and the universe outside. And one very quick slide that I want to share with you is this. The outer organs that I was talking about, the 5 senses related with Panchabhuta, earth, air, fire, water, and space. And you can see on the screen how they are related with your senses. And finally, they give the signals to your mind. So up to the mind, everything is temporary. But the mind then speaks to your inner soul. That soul is eternal and permanent. So we receive the signals and we give out the signals. Okay, that is why the body and the senses are important, and we include them in the waking state, then their reflection in the dream state, and then finally the deep sleep. But these 3 states have qualities, they have gunas. But what keeps them afloat, what keeps them going, is what we call nirguna, indestructible. Okay, and so now it's beginning to give them names. So the waking state, which was called Vaishvanara, which is Akara, it says it is Apte and Adi. So A for Apte, A for Adi. So you can see how it is beginning to give the name that this is the start, this is the original. Okay, so letter A actually exists at the beginning. It pervades all the languages. In the 10th mantra, the swapansthana, the place of sleeping, dreaming, ukara, which is the dvitya matra, which is the second word, it says it is utkarshat ubhavyat, superior. It is better than the waking. Why? Because no physical laws control your dreams. Okay, you can do things against gravity, you can go here, there, and everywhere, and that is why ukar, which is higher, yeah, then A. And then finally, the Sushupta Sthanam is the one where it says in the deep sleep, when you are totally unaware of any objects and subjects, that makar is the Tritya Matra. And it is the one in which everything merges. Because in deep sleep, yeah, you will flick back into either the dream or the waking state. So it is the one where, which measures and into which the other 2 states merge. Okay, that is your 3rd state, and the letter is given M. So A from Adi, U from Utkarsh, and M from Miti. That makes the word Om. And
Nawalji,
G.
could you please make your slides on presentation mode?
I can do that.
So audience can see well. It's showing like shorter screen.
I know, but problem is this: whoever the hacker is trying to control and keeps giving me this message, and I'm just
Still,
yeah.
we tried to. I
I've been
tried to remove him.
no, it's frantically it keeps coming back every 10 seconds. So there is
Okay, I'm checking.
trying to, but never mind. I don't know.
Just preview it.
I think it actually used, there is a user called Pavan Dahake. It has used his connection to hacking. So I'm not blaming Pavanji, but somebody has managed to hack into his.
It's okay. I will check. I will check. Thank you.
Or maybe Pavanji, if you could leave and then join again later, that could perhaps work. Right. So basically, okay, let me see if I can go back to. I've covered all these.
Yes, now perfect.
Yeah, so 3 letters and the 3 aspect of Om: waking, dreaming, deep sleep, physical, emotional, causal, material world, impressions world, and pure consciousness. Those are the 3 facets of life. And final mantra basically now reveals what keeps these 3 afloat. The 4th, it says amatra, because there is no way this 4th can be described. It is indescribable. It is soundless. It says avyavharam, and it is beyond any kind of prapanch. There is no interference, basically. And it is Shiva, it is peaceful, Advait, it is non-dual, and it is Omkar. And that is the Atma. So basically, Atma or Brahma cannot be described in words. Okay. And it says, those who know it, merges his self in the self. Yes, those who know it. Ya evam ved, ya evam ved. This is a classic way Upanishads end by repeating what they are saying. Okay. So this 4th aspect is without any syllable. There is no sound. It is just silence. So next time you recite Om, please have silence after it. So it is U, Ma, silence. So remember this, that Om actually has 4 syllables, U, Ma, and the 4th one is a silent sound. Okay? There it is. Om is Atma, and this silence is a silence of infinity. It's not born again. It's a creation and the creator becoming one. And often people call it the state of Turya. And what is it? So being a scientist, today we look at the world and we see all these stars and planets and moons around those planets and so on. And USA has sent all these big satellites in space looking to far off places, because the light takes time to travel to us. So further away you look, back in time you go. If you're looking at an image where the light has taken 1 million years to come to you, then that image, when you see it, is taking you back 1 million years. So this is how scientists go back in time. And this is what they have found. Look at this picture. The further away you go, the Hubble Deep Field and the other telescopes they have sent out in space, they're finding that all these solid objects, the moon, the planets, the stars disappear. They are clouds. Further back, even the clouds disappear. There is just background radiation. And further back, they haven't yet managed to go there, but they are predicting that they will not be able to see anything. Does that mean that there was nothing from which all this universe has come? And here is this beautiful mantra from Rigved. You can Google it, 10th Mandal, 129th Sutta, called Nasadya Sutta. Then even nothingness was not, nor existence. So there was a state when there was neither existence nor non-existence. It's beautiful. You know, it says there was neither day nor night. So basically, if I say it is light, that means lack of darkness. So darkness has to exist for me to define light. If I say, oh, it is cold, that means lack of heat. So heat has to exist to define coldness. It's all relative. But can you imagine a state when there is no relativity? There is no cold, therefore there is no heat. There is no light, therefore there is no darkness. And that is that state in the beginning when nothing is there. Or I will say, we don't have anything to define whatever is there. A famous German philosopher, Heidegger, claimed it. Nothing is constantly in the background of our existence. We can become aware of the nothing in a way that opens out our understanding of the true nature of being. In other words, the shunya. Okay. Now, in my last two slides, I just want to share with you my impression of the scientific nature of Mandukya. Scientists like systematic categorization, which is what it did. It actually gave us states of consciousness, attributes for each of them with their boundaries, empirical relevance, yeah, and phenomenology, which is, while not experimental in modern sense, because modern scientists do experiments, this one is grounded in direct experience of consciousness through waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And then predictive or explanatory power, it helps to explain why dreams contain impressions of waking. You will never dream something that you haven't seen. You may do the mixture of them. Why deep sleep is peaceful or free from all problems, emotions, and content. So it allows this correlation. The content relates to waking impressions, mental health or disturbances relate to identification with the lower states being the dreaming and the waking. But the spiritual tranquility, is associated with disidentification. Or in many people, they even use the word nirvana or moksha or mukti, because you're free from the troubles. And yes, it has the normative, therapeutic dimension. It is not just a description. There is guidance on what to aim at, okay, to achieve psychological well-being, less suffering, more clarity. So in conclusion, Mandukya Upanishad stands out remarkably as a work of psychology of consciousness. Yeah, it's a multi-layered architecture. So I hope you now see yourself as a gross body, as a mind, which dreams and memories and perceptions are based in it. But beyond the body and mind, transcendental, beyond it, a spiritual level. And for modern professionals doing research in psychology and cognitive science, perhaps it provides a very rich model for them to study. And it suggests that spiritual or contemplative practice can serve as a kind of experimental method of self-study, an internal observation. Once again, the glasses that help you see inside. And now, my final secret, and then I will stop talking. You all know not only the word Om, but this very famous poem, Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. Yeah, you recognize it as Aarti. Do you know who wrote it? It was written by Pandit Sharda Ram Filori in 1870. During the British rule in India, he was a scholar and well recognized by British government, and he used to write guidance, and all this, but a philosopher and a poet. And he read this philosophy and he wrote this poem, and look at that. It says, Om Jai Jagadisha Hare, yeah, Swami Jai Jagadisha Hare, Bhakt Jano ke sankat, Das Jano ke sankat, kshan mein dur kare. How? Jo dhyave fal pave, the one who understands the meaning of Om. Dukh bin se man ka. Yeah. So in a second, if you are able to understand your own mind, yeah, He's actually not doing nothing but reflecting the philosophy of Mandukya Upanishad. Yeah, that is what this song is about. But such is its power that it has become so powerful that a lot of people sing it. But I'm afraid they sing it without really understanding who the poet was and what was the purpose for which he sang. That was my secret. But today I've managed to share with you in 45 minutes the whole point of Mandukya Upanishad, explanation of Om, and the word that you often use in your prayers. Okay? Thank you.
It is amazing, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think each one of us who is participating will feel that they are brought the English translation of this Sanskrit classic. Many of us are devoid of understanding Sanskrit. You have done a great service to all of us. And by publishing this book, you are making it available to everyone who is interested. I'm not able to see in the chat any questions, but we still have got about 14 minutes. We normally meet for 1 hour. So if anybody likes to interact, have a question, the floor is open. You can unmute yourself and can ask the question.
Namaste, Nawalji.
Namaste.
It was very enlightening lecture because we have listened to you so many times, but it was really eye-opening. बस एक यही बात थी नवल जी के because our Pakistani brothers and sisters, they have got all our religious text in Urdu. So they may not have understood what is written in Hindi or in Sanskrit.
Okay.
So I don't know how we sitting here in UK or in India, how can we address this problem for our brothers, Hindu brothers who are sitting across the border.
Mhm.
So I was just asking you any alternative which you can suggest how to help them.
Yeah, this is to do mostly with translation, isn't it? So I'm afraid my grandfather knew Urdu because at his time, Sanskrit was not allowed to be taught in India, and they were only allowed Persian and English. And so, yes, he knew Urdu, but I have grown up with Hindi and Sanskrit. And if we can find someone who is able to translate this back into language, either the reader has to learn Hindi Sanskrit or we have to translate the books back into Urdu, which is a big task. But yeah, I think one suggestion is that nowadays Google Translator is there. So if you have things in English, you should be able to translate them into Urdu very quickly, actually. So maybe I would suggest take help from these artificial intelligence AI tools, translators.
Because it is a great achievement for our brothers and sisters across the border.
Yeah.
That they are merely 1.5%.
Yes.
And so they are still keen to learn our old scriptures, Upanishad, Ramayana, Mahabharata, though they are learning it in Urdu. So it is three cheers for them, hats off to them. And they are preserving our culture across the border. In that land, Indus land, where Ramayana was written up, where Mahabharata was written. So I just appreciate Pooja ji and other people who are really working very hard. Thank you, Nawal ji.
Good. And I've read the questions in the chat. I think I've already answered them in the talk. They wanted to know the 7 limbs and 19 mukhas, which I've shown a slide. Pooja ji.
So the question about the 19 mukhas is that in Vayu Puran, they basically talk about the 19 emanations of Brahma, from Brahma, Mahat, Dharma, down to Parmeshti and all the way to the 19. So is there any correlation between that 19 emanation of Brahmas? Because Brahma on the top is literally the face of the universe itself. As you said, 170 billion galaxies and over 92 billion years, light years away. So that's the top level. So this 19th level. So this 19, any correlation which the Upanishad is trying to connect with?
No, these 19 are very much a scientific explanation of human body and how we consume the information that comes from outside. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The touch and touch, breathing, and all those senses, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, great. Any other question? And I think the question which was raised, that can these classics Upanishads be read in Urdu also? I think the technology can help. As Professor
Yeah,
Prinja
I have one more question,
Hmm.
different question.
Go
Can you
ahead.
elaborate more on the Turya state? Is it the same as Samadhi? Can one get this state through whatever efforts they can do, or is it through meditation? How is it related to meditation?
It is related to meditation, but then again, there are many states of meditation itself. But basically, at the end, it's, let me tell you, very, very difficult state to reach, because we are all conditioned by our senses, by our mind. We are conditioned to believe in reality, which is shown to us only by our senses, our sense organs, and our mind. And what our mind has basically learned over a period of time through repeated experiences, what we call intelligence, buddhi, and so on. It's very, very difficult to go beyond what you had already learned to reach that state where there is no object and no subject. And this is the state, like I was explaining, we do experience it, but we are more or less in that deep sleep, and somebody has actually mentioned rapid eye movement and so on. So it's just beyond it, and the problem is how to be in that objectless, subjectless state whilst you are awake, whilst you are actually using your senses and sense organs. And this is what yogis have been practicing. That they are awake, they are aware, and yet they are not, they are disengaging with their senses. Amazing, very, very difficult. And I will also say it could also be dangerous for people to try on their own. You need masters to teach you. But yes, it is a very high level of samadhi, if that's what you are trying to get at. So only greatest of the yogis with years of practice can achieve it. It does, it's not easy to disengage.
So, did you say that this particular Turya state and the pre-formation of the universe, they are connected? Did you try to connect these two concepts?
I wasn't connecting it, but people have basically said that because that pre-universe or before the beginning of the universe state is an objectless, subjectless. There is no relativity, there is no awareness, there is no existence, neither existence nor non-existence. So if you can, it is similar. It is kind of a similar sort of thing if you look at it from physics or astronomical point of view. Then yes, you're right. So that's what we want, the philosophy talks about. And believe me, I have spoken to two astronomers who are doing the latest research at Edinburgh University. That's where Professor Higgs is, the person who won the Nobel Prize for Higgs boson, God particle, same university. And when I was sharing this idea of neither existence nor non-existence in that state, they were actually impressed because the scientific view is always analytical. You have to measure it. You have to be able to do the experiment. But he says, how can we measure something which is beyond measurement? So, yeah.
Professor, my question is, you have translated it. What are the challenges of a translator of a text which is in Sanskrit?
Well, firstly, you need to understand Sanskrit, and please do not just simply read one translation. You have to read, in order to understand this Upanishad, I read translation by Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan and other people who had various swamis who had written in Hindi or English the translations of it. And then you apply your own knowledge. I've studied Sanskrit myself, so I can actually understand how the words have been combined. I can break them up. I can actually put my own understanding to it. So yes, some scholars, particularly Western scholars, because they lack understanding of Hindu culture, background, history, and some of the concepts that they have misinterpreted some of these. So be careful when you pick up an English translation.
Absolutely, we must differentiate between translation and transcription. There are some transcriptions which are available,
Yeah.
and they are being sold as translation. And unless you have got a grounding in the culture, I think it's very difficult to really translate.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
one question. Somebody said that there are Urdu translations, they need or Persian translations for the Vedas, Upanishads. More than 375 years ago, we had Sirai Akbar by Dara Shukho, which was on basically translation of all the Upanishads. And if you go to archive.org, you will find the Urdu translations of most of the Vedas, some of the Upanishads, and a couple of Purans also, Bhagavad Gita also. I'm holding like a variation of Ramayana about 100 years of old in my family, which is in Urdu, and it is basically Shiva telling the story of Ram to Parvati. But I mean, it's a variation, obviously. What probably is the root one for which Ramcharitmanas also came out. But these are available, and most of them are available on the web and free on archive.org.
Good. I think there's Rajinder Singh ji's got a question.
Namaste, sir.
Oh, namaste, Rajinder ji. Yes.
Sir, thank you for the brilliant talk. बहुत ही मजा आ गया सुन के. But sir, एक question है. नासदीय सूत्र में भी और Stephen Hawking also said the same thing that we do not know how something and anti-something separated from nothingness.
Yeah.
And we also say the same thing. But unless and until we have an answer, we are not making any progress.
Yes.
If we say that this is known to us, this was known to us even in the ancient times, but then with our modern understanding also, it is very easy to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
So, but the real meaningful progress would be if we can actually find an answer about how to define that nothingness and how actually organic and inorganic world started from there. The entire crux rests there. Until that is known, मन को शांति नहीं मिलेगी सर.
No, that absolutely, that's what the human race is trying to find out. But I was reading a book, Universe Out of Nothing, and they are now beginning to make sense of what is called quantum physics, where you can actually get things which are absolutely puzzling to us. How can there be something which exists in two states, and when those two states meet, there is nothing, and then out of that nothingness, there are these, two counter states are emerging, and so on. That's one. Second one is that they are linked with each other, so it doesn't matter how far they are. If it's like if I throw a dice sitting here in Manchester, which is linked to the dice that Professor Prasher has in Arizona, whatever I throw here, that dice will show the same number. But this is impossible in our physical world, but it is possible in the quantum world, and they are beginning to find it. So it's faster than speed of light, instant, across distances. So what is it? So there are still things to be discovered. And you're absolutely right. People are not resting. They are restlessly looking for it. I was at BBC Radio 4 debate some time ago with Professor Brian Cox, who has made several BBC program on astronomy, astrology, cosmology. And he was just about saying the same thing what you are saying, that we are still puzzled, like what has this universe come from? And he's also warning that not in our lifetime, but a time will come if we don't resolve it, we may not be able to see the very horizon of the universe because it would have gone past the limit. So there are all kind of challenges facing us, but I'm hoping that one day there will be an answer. But Rajinder ji, you will appreciate that the very first mantra of our Sikh holy scripture, Guru Granth Sahib ji, is the Mool mantra which starts with Ek Omkar. So if you ever want to explain to anyone what that Omkar actually means, this is the book.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely fantastic. We are now 1 hour into our listening and discussion. Now, I like
I
to
think,
close this
sorry,
section.
Saji, for interruption. I think we have one more question from Sahana Singh. I can
Okay,
see his
that will be the
hand
last
raised.
question. Last
Yeah,
question.
exactly. Ji.
Namaste. I'm sorry, I'm speaking from the kitchen. I was cooking and I had put this and I was listening. It just drew me in. It was lovely. A lot of things that I knew already were reiterated, but the one that I found really interesting was what you said about Om Jai Jagdish Hare, this Aarti song. And I'm actually a South Indian, though I have sing. My husband is a North Indian, so we constantly have these fights where I say that all you all do is just Om Jai Jagdish Hare. You all don't know anything more than that. I used to make fun of my husband. And because we in the South, we use a lot of Aarti songs in Sanskrit, and we are very proud that we know a lot of Sanskrit. And so this Om Jai Jagadish Hare, I used to make fun of it, but now I really like the way you presented it. It was made by a scholar, and it's actually about Om. So you've actually made me realize my ignorance today that this song is about Om. So it sounds like a commonplace, regular Aarti song, but it has such deep meaning. So I wanted to thank you. And also the scholar you mentioned, if you could tell me more about this scholar who wrote this song, it would be lovely.
You can Google Pandit Filori. You'll find all kind of details about him. He was
Pandit Filori,
an intellectual recognized by the British government during British Raj. Translated many books. He used to help them with, I think those days there was an imperial or civil service exams and all this. Oh yeah.
Okay, so it is a song celebrating Om rather than
it was his. That's what I have found out. But I mean, if you understand the philosophy of Om, and then you say, that this is what it is, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think Navalji, this is 150 years old and was written by Pandit Filori from Philor, and Philor is a place near Jalandhar.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think the technology has now become your personal assistant. And I think all of us can, free of cost, avail the services of a private assistant, as I call it, Chat GPT. Now, I'm not a salesperson for Chat GPT, but I am a regular user of Chat GPT. And I would say that if you go on Google and search for Chat GPT, you have a free access. And the beauty of that site is I find that always ask anything. So ask anything and they try to get you an answer. Suppose you want to have a list of the Upanishads, 108 that you have learned today. So if you just go in the Chat GPT and write list of Upanishads, they will tell you there are 108. They will subdivide it theme by theme. So I would say that we are in a great time at the moment, and technology is coming to our service, and we should take the full benefit of the service. You
But
might have heard first post that is on YouTube. They give the news about the word. And the other day I was listening that you can hear those news in your native language.
yeah,
They translate into 9 languages instantly. So I would say that today when we are searching for translation, we are searching for the native language. I think there are some technological tools, and please search for those. And Google is a great Baba today, and it is helping with lot of information. With these words, I would like to thank Professor Nawal, who has really gone so deep into translating a difficult text for any of us, I would say. All of us who are participating, I don't know about others, but about myself, I can say it's a unique opportunity to hear the English translation of that and getting some sense of it. Actually, when I was listening to you, I was reminded of that why Gayatri Mantra is called the Mahamantra.
yeah.
That is mantra which defines what is Om.
Mm.
Because everywhere we talk about the powers of God, what God can do for us. But what is God? What is Om, the name that is given to God? God is the English translation. But in our culture, Om, Ishwar. So when you go to a word Om and you recite that mantra, and we call it Maha Mantra, it really defines what is Om. Like you have said that it is A, U, Ma. So it is basically a conjoint of the 3 words. And these letters which we conjoint into the 3, they are the 3 primordial powers of the nature. No? Everything on this planet, there is no exception to that. Everything on this planet is born, grows, and decays. No? Decays to recreate. That is the positivity that we have in our culture. No? We don't say that, okay, it is born, it grows, it is maintained, it survives, and then it decays. It also says it decay to recreate. No? So that is, I think, and I really appreciate somebody said that we every day sing Om Jai Jagdish Hare, and somebody reacted from the kitchen, and I noticed that the reactions from the kitchen are really the best reactions. No, very often in my home also I have a TV, there is a screen, there is a lot of news, but I always hear a reaction from the kitchen where my wife is working, and I find very, very useful reactions we get, and today we got it. And you have also clarified one thing today, sir, that all along we thought that Jai Jagdish Hare has been given by Kahat Shivanand Swami. Often we read that at the end of it, Kahat Shivanand Swami. So many of us, and I am one of those who believe that possibly Shivanand Swamiji gave this, but today you gave Pandit Sharda Filoriji, where the source is. And I believe that our culture is so much ancient that all of us who are talking today, we are not telling, we are only retelling. Somebody told, somebody heard, and anyway, in our own times and life, we are retelling. And I think you have done a tremendous job, and all of us have greatly benefited. We are grateful to you from the core of our heart for taking your time out. And all participants, please take our heartfelt thanks to you for participating in the Hindu Book Club. We bring the authors of books time to time, and they have done a great job. Writing a book is not easy. You have to turn up the library, full library actually, to write a book. And actually, when you write a book, you have to be able to defend that. So as a result of that, I think we are grateful once again with these words to our presenter. And I have got 4 appeals to make to all my listeners today, so that this edition of Hindu Book Club continues. In US, those participants who are in US, they know that we have a beautiful system of free public library every mile. So in US, we have thousands of libraries, and the credit goes to Benjamin Franklin, Of course, it has evolved over a period of time, but this was one of the most moving ideas on this planet, that we can have a free access to so many books. So I'll request and appeal all of you that while you appreciate, kindly recommend to the public library also in your vicinity that this book should be procured, and we can read that. We can read in the local group. And also, I would like that anywhere else, even in India, we have the public libraries, and we should recommend that we should procure this kind of book. And I would say that if any of you is interested in presenting any book, please get in touch with us. If you want to have a local reading club of your own of some book and you want to share that experience, you are most welcome. As far as our foundation is concerned, we are encouraging Hindus to publish, to write. In English, we say, you say it, you see, you see it, you say it. That is the key to writing. And there is one platform that is called creately.in. They publish your views. It's a self-publishing platform. So I'll request all of you that try to please jot down and publish. It can be 500 words, it can be 800 words. The whole world looks forward to hearing about the new information. You are all excited by hearing today Professor Nawal Prinja, and I would say let's continue in this edition. With these words, I thank each one of you for joining the Hindu Book Club, and our special thanks are to Professor Nawal Prinja, and we wish him very well, and we wish that he returns to us in future also and shares his wonderful work with us. With these words, I thank everybody once again, and Pooja, we can now actually close this session.
Yeah.
Shall I have the permission of all? Namaskar, sir.
Yes,
Namaskar.
thank you. Thank you. Namaste.